Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe what is possible for your life. I am so blessed to be able to bring back again today a guest that we had last week and who now I'm beginning to call my friend, Sue Borgerson, who lives in Lakeville, Minnesota with her husband. And we were discussing last week how she had lost her daughter, Kayla, coming on 11 years in a car accident. And so we're going to pick up this conversation, Sue, with saying hello to you and acknowledging the power and the heart and the authenticity of you to show up and to be able to do this, because I know that it can be very painful and hard. So thank you so much. I am so grateful to have you here.
You're welcome. Thanks, Nada.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. So last week, Sue, we were talking about that Kayla gave the gift of life by becoming a donor, and she had given 5 organs to 4 people and had donated, I believe, skin, tissue, and corneas. Am I correct on corneas?
Yes.
Okay. And there's also, because this could take us an hour, so I'm going to try to condense it as much as I can. But there's this really sweet story of how Kayla made the decision to be an organ donor at the DMV. Can you share that with us?
Right. Kayla did not like making decisions in life. As her mother, I was always trying to get her to make her own decisions. And I remember when she passed the test, you have to fill out the application and sign it. She looked at that very first question, should you check the box to be an organ donor? And she asked me what she should do. I told her it was a personal choice and she needed to make that decision. She even argued with me and she said, "Come on, Mom, just tell me what to do." And again, I said it was a personal choice. She did think about it for a minute. And she said, "Well, I'm going to check the box. I would like to know that if something ever happened to me, that I would at least be able to help other people." Never in a million years did I think we would be faced with that decision.
Right. Wow. Yeah, because you just don't think, it never is going to happen to me. Yeah.
I
Amazing.
never repeated that conversation, didn't even think about it once we walked out the door.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you were blessed to meet with a couple of Kayla's organ recipients. What was that like? And can you share a little bit of that with us?
Yes, we've met her liver recipient and her heart recipient. Her liver went to a 12-year-old girl. Hallie had actually just turned 12 the day before the girl's accident. That weekend, she was to have her sleepover birthday party, and she had to cancel it because she got the call and she got a liver instead. So we've met Hallie and her whole family. We've become good friends. It is good for us to see that that's one more family that did not lose a child. And you know, the other thing Life Source tells us, it isn't just that Hallie's life was saved and impacted. It's all of Hallie's friends and relatives and everyone else who's so thankful and so grateful that you impact numbers and numbers of people by donation. I remember when they came to our house, when we met her mom and dad and Hallie all came to our house. Katie was here. Kyle he had moved out by that point. And maybe in the beginning it was awkward, but we really connected. And I remember saying, "I can't believe Kayla's liver is in our house again."
Yeah.
And then I kind of said to Hallie's mom, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And she was like, no, 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 don't worry about it. You know, we're not offended. It's nobody writes an instruction manual for what do you do when you meet your loved one's organ recipients, you know. I remember when they came over, we ended up sitting on the family room floor playing a game, all five of us together. And it was the girls' idea. Well, let's play this game. So we did. And we've just connected with them. And they live in the Twin Cities, and we've been friends with them ever since.
Wow. So when you, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, and then I was going to say too, the heart recipient, we've met her. She and her family also came over to our home. She's a mother of three, just like myself and my same age. I just kept looking at her kids thinking they still have their mom. So it's been, again, a very healing and good thing to see how healthy they both are. Both of them are doing very, very, very well. So that's good to see.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I know that you and your family have a lot of contact with Hallie and her family. And does it ever cross your mind now, because almost 11 years have gone by, and does it ever cross your mind when you're looking at Hallie that Kayla's liver is inside of Hallie, or do you just see Hallie as the whole being and it's just a different relationship that you have with her now?
You know, I would have to say it's a little bit of both. I
Yeah.
do look at her sometimes and I think, wow, you know, Kayla's liver is still living on in someone. Her legacy is still carried on. But Hallie definitely has her own personality. So I see her also as Hallie.
Yeah. Yeah. And how is it that Hallie and Katie, how do those two get along?
Oh, they've gotten along fabulously from the beginning. I think for Katie, you know, it's kind of that it's not just that an old person got her organ, you know.
Yeah.
So they have a lot in common. They both love cats, and they're always very chatty whenever we get together. And it's been good for Katie also to have that relationship with Hallie.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Hallie was only, or still is, only 3 years younger than Katie, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so they're pretty similar in age, and yeah, how beautiful is that? So what has Hallie gone on to do since now? So if she was 12, she's what, 20, almost 23, or is 23 now?
She's 22. She'll be 23 this fall.
Okay. When is her birthday?
Her birthday is November 4th.
November 4th. Okay. All right. So what has she gone on to do with her life? Because now, right, she has, I saw a video of hers, and I will make sure that gets into the show notes, at least on my website, where people can go and watch these videos, because you shared some beautiful videos. And we'll dive into that a little bit deeper. But she is vivacious. She's full of life. Right, she's just animated, and so is your daughter, Katie. And
Yes.
yeah, so what has Hallie gone on to do now that she's 22 years old?
Well, she's graduated high school. She's living at home and working. Um, so yeah, she just appreciates, you know, every day. And it amazed me at such a young age how she got it. Um, you know, she got that this was a second chance at life and how special she was to receive this liver. So yeah, she's working and living at home right now.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. And she is a beautiful young girl, and there just has to be, I don't know. I know when I was watching her, I never met Kayla. I don't know who she is except knowing her through you, which is one of the reasons that I think this kind of work is so important and so powerful, because as mothers, especially when we lose our children, I think, oh, it makes me want to cry. Ah, when we
Yeah.
lose our children, I think it's easy to get bitter and to shut our hearts down and to hate everybody and to hate the world. And when we can do work that helps other people and to know it's not easy, but it's doable and we can do this. And I think the more that we know that there's other mothers that have done it. That's what I hung on to. I hung on
Yes.
to, I knew there had to have been millions of mothers who have been in my shoes. And if they can do it, then I'm hanging on to them, whatever power and energy they had and strength. I'm hanging on to you and you have to pull me through this.
Right.
And
Oh, I remember being so angry, so
yeah,
angry. And there was a handful of days in the beginning when I just stayed in bed and didn't go to work and didn't do anything. And then, like I've said too, there was another handful of days where I probably should have stayed in bed because I was angry at the world.
yeah,
But I knew I just didn't want to go through life that way.
right, right. Yes. And it just doesn't honor that loved one that we lost, and especially our child. It just does not honor them. And it doesn't mean if somebody else is in a place where they're struggling and they're having a hard time and they are feeling very angry and they are bitter, it doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong. It just means there's other ways that we can do it. And I just think the more people that we know that do it in powerful ways, the more it gives others permission. Well, I can do that too, and still know that I'm loving my child by really fully living my life with passion and purpose and doing it, just really living life full on, because I think that's how we honor our children.
Right, right, exactly.
Yeah. So, Sue, could you tell us how Kayla's gift of life has impacted you?
Well, since then, since she donated organs and we met two of the recipients, I've become very connected with Life Source. You know, one thing I can say about Life Source is prior to this experience, I just kind of thought they took your organs and you never heard a thing from them again. But you know, you get updates on how the recipients are doing. They have family gatherings to honor the deceased organ donors. They're very cognizant of the idea that, yeah, it's great that recipients receive organs, but that's due to somebody's tragedy or somebody losing a life in many situations. So I felt very good about that. I felt very good about the organization. So I've become a volunteer speaker for them. I speak to driver's ed classes, Rotary clubs, healthcare professionals. One thing in Minnesota, we have a state law that since kids have to make the decision when they pass their test, um, it is a state law that all driver's ed classes include some education for them on organ donation. And I know it's something that Kayla did not have when she went through driver's ed. That law was passed since she went through driver's ed. So, what a wonderful thing. I think of how indecisive Kayla was that day. And I think if I can speak to driver's ed classes and, you know, dispel the myths or let them know what organ donation is like or what it means to us and our family, what a great thing for them to make an informed decision. I don't want them to be wondering what this is all about.
Right. And I think that it's so true. And I never even thought about that until we have this conversation, is because probably the majority of teenagers don't really give any thought to organ donation unless they've been impacted by a family member or a friend who had who had to have an organ. And so it's just like organ donation, no, or like why would I even do that? Not even or check the box and not even realizing you're checking a box, but this is saying I'm giving permission for my organs to be donated. So that is so impactful that the teenagers, young teenagers, just learning how to drive, get to know this and how it changed the lives of five people and or four people with organs and countless other people's, right, with the tissue
Yes.
donation. And exactly how you said it, because it's not just Hallie and Hallie's family, but it's the ripple of every other person that Hallie and heart recipient and the other organ recipients and tissue recipients. It's the impact that all of those other people receive because of that person still being here on this planet. So, this gift of life is that huge